A warm welcome to all of you. Today we are discussing photosynthesis part 2. We can begin with the process of photosynthesis. What is the process of photosynthesis? What is actually happening at the time of photosynthesis? The end products like oxygen, water, glucose. How do the plants produce these end products? We are discussing that. Here you can see the TS of leaf. This topic you already learned in the chapter transpiration, the structure of leaf. Okay, there are two types of mesophyll cells are there. Here you can see these are palisade mesophyll cells, then these are spongy mesophyll cells. What is the speciality of these mesophyll cells? This consists of numerous number of chloroplasts. Then these chloroplasts contain a vital plant pigment. It's called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is very essential for the process of photosynthesis. That's why we can say mesophyll cells like spongy mesophyll cells and palisade mesophyll cells are the principal centers of photosynthesis. Then which type of cells are the principal centers of photosynthesis? Spongy mesophyll cells and palisade mesophyll cells. Light energy is trapped by the chlorophyll of the upper layers of mesophyll, especially the palisade cells. Here you can see these are palisade cells present just below the upper epidermis. These palisade cells consist of numerous number of chloroplasts. Each chloroplast consists of a vital pigment called chlorophyll. What is the function of this chlorophyll? It will trap light energy. Chlorophyll trap light energy. Then light energy is trapped by the chlorophyll of the upper layers of mesophyll cells, that is palisade cells. This energy is utilized in chemical process involved in the manufacture of food, glucose, C6H12O6, where the raw materials used are carbon dioxide and water. In the process of photosynthesis, there are two main phases are there. First phase, light dependent phase. What is light dependent phase? The reactions, the chemical reactions in this phase require light energy. The next phase, light independent phase or dark phase. What is light independent phase? The chemical reactions in this phase do not require light energy. This is also known as dark phase. Dark phase did not mean that it occurs when it is dark or at night. When it will occur? It will occur simultaneously with the light dependent phase. The time gap between these two phases less than even 1,000th of a second. 1,000th of a second. It is the time gap between these two phases. Then, where is the location of these two phases? Where it will occur? Light dependent phase and light independent phase will occur in which place? These two phases occur in the chloroplast. These two phases occur in the chloroplast. Light dependent phase. Light dependent phase, also known as photochemical phase. Here, light plays a key role. All the chemical reactions in this phase initiated by light. The light reaction takes place in the thylakoids of the chloroplast. Here you can see these are thylakoids. This is the structure of chloroplast. Here you can see thylakoids. Those who didn't know that, please go through the video Photosynthesis Part 1. I'll give the link of that video in the description box. Then, where is it occur? The light dependent phase occur in the thylakoids of the chloroplast. Very important. The light reaction occur in two main steps. What are these two main steps? Light reaction or light dependent phase or photochemical phase. This occurs in two main steps. First one, activation of chlorophyll. The next step, splitting of water. These two steps occur in the thylakoids of chloroplast, or we can say grana of chloroplast. Piles of thylakoids are called grana. We already learned that. Why is it occur in the thylakoids of chloroplast? You know that chlorophyll, the very important pigment, chlorophyll is located in the walls of thylakoids. That's why light dependent reaction occur in the thylakoids of chloroplast. First step of light dependent phase is activation of chlorophyll. The chlorophyll on exposure to light energy becomes activated by absorbing photons. What are photons? A photon is the smallest unit of light energy. Then these are chlorophyll pigment. These chlorophyll pigments are activated by absorbing photon. That is the first step. The next step of light dependent phase, that is splitting of water. Splitting of water is also known as photolysis of water. What is the meaning of photolysis? Splitting by light. Photolysis occurs in the grana of chloroplast. Here you can see piles of thylakoids, you can see here. These piles of thylakoids are called grana. Grana is the plural form of granum. Single pile of thylakoids, we call it as granum. Then in each granum you can see number of thylakoids. What is the definition of photolysis of water? It is defined as splitting of water molecules into hydrogen ions and oxygen in the presence of light. That is the definition of photolysis of water. Here you can see water molecules split into hydrogen ions and molecular oxygen. End result of the products of photolysis. First point, the hydrogen ions are picked up by a compound NADP, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. That is the full form of NADP, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Very important. Here you can see NADP is a compound present in thylakoids. This NADP picked up hydrogen ions and electrons. Electrons also released at the time of photolysis of water. Then NADP picked up hydrogen ions and electrons and reduced to form NADPH. The next point, the oxygen component is given out as molecular oxygen. Here you can see At the time of photolysis of water, water molecules break down into hydrogen ions, electrons, and molecular oxygen. Always oxygen component is given out as molecular oxygen. The next point you have to remember is the electrons are used in converting ADP, that is adenosine diphosphate, into energy-rich compound ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, by adding inorganic phosphate in presence of light. That is known as photophosphorylation. Here you can see these electrons are coming from the process of photolysis of water. These electrons are picked up by ADP by adding inorganic phosphate. Here you can see in presence of light it will convert into ATP. Then ADP will convert into ATP in presence of light by adding electrons and inorganic phosphate. That is known as photophosphorylation. ADP plus inorganic phosphate in presence of light gives ATP. The next phase of photosynthesis is light independent phase or dark phase or biosynthetic phase. Light independent phase, also known as biosynthetic phase, because food preparation occurs in this phase. The reactions in this phase is not require light energy. That's why that phase is known as light independent phase. This light independent phase takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast. Here you can see the ground substance present in the chloroplast, that is known as stroma. Then light independent phase or dark phase occur in the stroma of the chloroplast. Here synthesis of glucose molecules occur in this phase. That's why that is known as biosynthetic phase. Conversion of glucose into starch and other chemicals also occur in this phase. Then several glucose molecules are transformed to produce one molecule of starch. This process is called polymerization. Very important point. Several glucose molecules are transformed to produce one molecule of starch. This process is called polymerization. Light dependent reactions and light independent reactions are the two main phases of photosynthesis. Here we are not discussing the details of these two reactions, that is cyclic and non-cyclic reactions, then Calvin cycle. We are not discussing these topics that you can learn in 11th standard. Here in 10th standard you have to learn only the main process happening in these two reactions. In light dependent reactions, yes, what are the main process you have to remember? We already learned that, we can just revise. First one, activation of chlorophyll. Second process, that is photolysis of water. Then another one, photophosphorylation. That means conversion of ADP into ATP. Then another process, reduction reaction. Conversion of NADP into NADPH. These processes happening in light dependent reactions. Where is it takes place? It takes place in the thylakoids of chloroplast. It occurs in chlorophyll containing part of chloroplast. You know that chlorophyll is present in the walls of thylakoids. That's why we can say light dependent reactions takes place in the thylakoids of chloroplast, or you can write grana of chloroplast, because as piles of thylakoids we call it as grana, piles of thylakoids. Then another reaction, that is light independent reaction. In light independent reaction, you have to know what is polymerization. That definition you have to learn. Where is it takes place? It takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast. Stroma of chloroplast, that you have to remember. End result of the product of photosynthesis. There are three end products of photosynthesis. They are glucose, water, oxygen. Here you can see the balanced chemical equation of photosynthesis. Three end products are there. Glucose, that is the simple sugar, then oxygen, molecular oxygen, then water molecules. Then these three are the end products of photosynthesis. First, we can discuss glucose. Glucose is a simple sugar. Glucose is used in 4 different ways as required by the plants. What are these 4 different ways? First one, immediately consumed by the plant cells. Second point, stored in the form of insoluble starch. Then third point, convert into sucrose. Then fourth point, used in synthesizing fats, proteins, etc. The next end product of photosynthesis is water. The water produced in the process may be reutilized in the continuance of photosynthesis. Oxygen is the another end product of photosynthesis, molecular oxygen. Right? Yes. Some of the oxygen may be used in the respiration of leaf cells. Major portion diffuses out into the atmosphere through stomata. The next topic is utilization of synthesized food and its translocation. The glucose formed in the leaf is converted into insoluble starch for temporary storage in the leaf. At night, starch is reconverted into soluble sugar, which is transported in solution through the veins of the leaf and down through the phloem of the stem. Here you can see, this is the phloem. Then these glucose molecules transport in solution through the veins of the leaf and down through the phloem of the stem. In this way, it gets transported to different parts of the plant where it may be reconverted into starch for storage. Revision. Define the following: polymerization, photophosphorylation, photolysis of water. These are very important definitions for examination. Answer the following. Write the balanced chemical equation of photosynthesis. That we already learned in the last video. You can go through that. You have to write the balanced chemical equation. What is the source of oxygen released in photosynthesis? The source of oxygen released in photosynthesis is water, not carbon dioxide. Oxygen is released by the process of photolysis of water. Why is it better to call the dark phase of photosynthesis a light independent phase? Because light independent phase did not occur in dark or at night. It occurred simultaneously after light dependent phase. Write the full form of the following. This is very important question for examination. First one, ATP, then NADP, and ADP. What is ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. The next one, NADP, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. The next one, ADP, adenosine diphosphate. Thank you, children. Have a good day. If you like my channel, please like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you.